After feeling a little discouraged in my yard the past week or so, I decided to start with the basics: water, food, and sunlight. What were my plants trying to tell me? If you start having issues with any of those three things, then your garden will start to tell you that something's wrong. The powdery mildew that I've been experiencing was obviously from too much overcrowding, so today I decided to work on my zinnia patch. Here I'm pruning off all of the spent blooms and really opening up the plant to allow more airflow, to allow more sun and less competition. After trimming off a lot of weight from the plant, I was able to start thinking about the proper way to stake the plant to keep it up off the grass and out of the moisture that it might experience from the ground or from my sprinkler for my grass. All I had on hand were these 2 stakes. So I used some twine and secured the stakes to the fence, and then secured the 2 stakes together, kind of lifting up the zinnias up and just helping provide more support. As a gardener, I feel like I'm always learning. This was my first year growing zinnias in this big of a number, and I really realized that they need proper staking. So I'm taking note of that, and I will be coming up with a different arrangement if I do a mass planting of zinnias like this next spring. But for now, I think this arrangement will work. I'm also going to fertilize the plants and just give them a little love, a little good energy, and hopefully they can bounce back from any powdery mildew that they were experiencing. This bed also needed some tidying up, so I'm starting with the Cat's Pajama Nepeta from Proven Winners. It's bloomed and been a really hardy plant in my yard this year. In the hanging planter above me is a fuchsia that I've had in a pot and overwintered for several years. I was thinking about putting it in the ground, but I'm just not convinced that in Zone 8B, where I am in Willamette Valley, Oregon, that it will be able to survive the winter here if we get any snow at all. So the broadleaf plant to my right with the glossy leaves is actually a calla lily. They actually do really well in our area. This one blooms orange. They do need a lot of fertilizer, but I'm thinking this one is going to have its best blooming year to come, maybe next summer. In this spot, I have a Russian sage plant, which you can see me pushing against it here, wishing it would be a little straighter. Again, I probably should have helped support it along the way. And then also one of my dahlias, which I cut back a ton of the foliage, again, due to the powdery mildew. So I'm really trying to alleviate some of the problems in this garden bed. I got these stakes off Amazon. You can see they come in two pieces, but they have a really long hoop at the top, which allows me to kind of gather up some of the plant and provide some support with the staking. The small white flowering plant in front of me is actually a white gomphrena, and then I have some purple sage in the back and more of the cat's pajama nepeta in front of me. To my right are some Shasta daisies that I cut pretty low to the ground, again just trying to eliminate the extra moisture in the foliage of this bed and discourage any pests from taking up habitat here. This little rake that I'm using is so handy. I like that it's smaller and can fit in between all of my plants. So it's a really great tool and I end up using it a lot in my garden beds. Afternoons like this in the garden are really sometimes when I need to just feel more grounded and more at ease. Thanks for hanging out in my yard with me today, everybody. I hope that it inspired you to get out in your yard today. Please subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to me. Bye.